How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? 35 Driver here, and welcome back to a video on GT Sport. Now, this has been a long time in the making. I have not played this game in so long. As you can obviously tell from earlier, I have upgraded from a PS4 standard to a PS5 now. Yeah, it is pretty cool. I decided to get one in July, I believe, and then 2 days later, Best Buy was like, "Hey, come pick this up or come buy it," and then I was like, "Yes, sir," and I gave them my money, and a week later, I had my PS5. But anyways, this is the first time I play this in a very, very long time. I've actually been paying for this account for nothing. And as you can tell right there, I got so confused because I thought it was really cool that now we start from the pit box, and then that never happened again. So I'm super confused as to whether it's supposed to be in there, the car. I assume it's not supposed to, but just like, I'm just like, whatever. So I looked through and I looked at the 3 races, and I decided that I wanted to do GR3, mainly because I really love this class. I'll probably do Circuit de la Sarthe sometime later, but for the day being, I wanted to do some easy GT racing. And here we are, starting on Dragon Trail Seaside. Death Chicane available, Death Chicane active. In the Good Smile Racing Mercedes AMG GT. I love this car. I love this livery. And right away, we are right behind the Supra. I noticed that the Supra was probably the car to take. Accidentally bumping the guy. I didn't mean to. I back off. You can tell that I haven't played this game in a while just because of the way I'm going to drive. I swear I drive so much better in iRacing. iRacing I also got back into recently. I will have a video on iRacing later, but for right now, here is the race that I had, or 3 races that I had in GT Sport. And later, you probably already read it in the title. I'm pretty sure I titled it, but later you will see the gentlemanship, the sportsmanship of a certain racer in this in one of these lobbies. So here we come. First time going around, about to reach the Death Chicane. I go too deep. I pass some people. I go too deep. We're going too wide. I panic. I get off the gas. I get overtaken by 2 Supras. It's okay because right away one of the Supras is going to be executed by the chicane. I panicked a little bit and I hit the wall too. Perfectly fine. No worries. Just a little time loss. We obviously see that the Canadian has decided that he did not want part in this world anymore, and he has gone left. He went to go talk to someone else, and immediately we see that car just up ahead of us just go flying into the air. I'm not exactly sure what he did. I did take a little screenshot. You can barely see it, but if you rewind the video, you will see that he goes flying into the air. And that was the most action I've seen right there. We skip ahead on lap 2. Going into the Death Chicane for the 2nd time in a row. This time I'm not braking for anybody. We watched the McLaren F1 ride the wall a little bit. I also ride the wall a little bit. That, what is it? Darn it, I can't remember the name. The Beetle gets a slowdown penalty or something. The McLaren F1 just goes off into the vast unknown. Meets Mr. Barry R, as Super GT says, and it's unfortunate for him. I don't think he wanted an autograph by him. I think he also left the race. I'm not too sure. I doubt it, but it could have happened. But the McLaren F1 is no longer in contention. Someone else has gone off in this little, I don't know, S chicane. That's not a chicane for sure, I don't think. Little S area. We get overtaken by the Volkswagen. Unfortunate for us, but it's all right. He obviously knows what he's doing a lot more than I do. Me, I'm super getting used to this game. The force feedback feels weird. The braking feels off. Luckily, we have a better run off the line than the Volkswagen, so we obviously take him into this little. This is what I would say the S curve would be, the curves or something. I'm not sure. I try to find a track guide, not a track guide, but I try to find like a little picture so I could know that this place had names. Turns out this track does not exist in real life, and I can't find anything accurate for the names of the curves. The Volkswagen goes a little too hard, sends it in, bumps into us again, and then a third time, and we're not going to let him overtake us this time. We're going to hold position right behind this Supra in front of us, and he falls behind. I don't know what happened. Maybe he slowed down in order to not get executed by the chicane to death. Luckily for him, unfortunate for me, I go just a little too deep. I forget that the slipstream in this game is kind of strong, but fortunately though, I do get a better run off the line than the Supra, which kind of confused me. I'm not too sure why, and we go ahead and take him, and we take P8, and into the final of this little S-curve area, we see that a Lancer was off, and luckily he doesn't manifest himself into the existence right at that moment that I was crossing him. Me saying that he's lucky should give you a little idea as to what's to come later in the race. Truly insane how Gran Turismo is. I'm not sure. Like, I guess iRacing, I'm used to everybody existing at all points in time. But we go ahead and finish the race. P7 in the Good Smile Racing AMG GT. And super excited. But I did notice that the car was probably not the best thing. I went on Google and I looked up what is the best car for Gran Turismo. And to my knowledge, it is the Porsche. And that is exactly what we are driving in this second race. Went ahead and hopped on the Porsche, no livery or no. Straight in P16 we start. I didn't do any practice, any qualifying laps, just because I wanted to start from the back. I wanted to see what the racing was like. Immediately see that the Mexican died or something like that. I want to say he was in a Supra, but I honestly couldn't tell. He just fizzled away in his existence so quickly, and we just leave the poor man behind. We see another Volkswagen Beetle just kind of lose it right there. When we slot in into P14 right behind the Viper, ACR Viper, which, to be honest, not a big fan of. Not a big fan of Dodges. Now, classic Vipers, the Vipers from the 90s that'll kill you, I love those. Just not the ACR Viper. The ACR Viper kind of looking cheap. Not cheap, it just doesn't look right to me. I don't know. But anyways, we go into into the turn right before the chicane. We see so many people just, I don't know. I don't know what happened with me either. I kind of went too deep. But they're going too wide into the entrance of the chicane. Luckily, the Viper backs out. And then right up ahead, we see 2 people dead. They died of death. 3 people that probably died of death. 3 public executions by the chicane of death. I thought they were illegal, but to be fair, apparently this track's in Croatia. And I'm not too sure on their laws or regulations. There's like 3-4 wide up ahead of us, and we see a Brazilian also get taken out. There is lots of assassination, lots of murders happening in this race. But luckily we slide into 10, drag racing with the Dodge Viper. Unfortunately, German engineering has no match to the might of the industrial power of the United States. And then he goes a little too deep, and we go ahead and take him out with our German engineering. Perfect analogy for how cars from Germany seem superior than they are over here in the United States. But that's just me. That's just me not being a fan of SS's. We see the Beetle we see Ryan with an H just wipe out a Supra out of existence. And we take him, we go ahead and go past him just because we're a little bit faster. We're probably faster off the line. He bumps into me, no worries. Luckily the curb keeps me on track. and he's just right behind. He goes to my left. I let him take the position, to be honest, just because I don't want no business with him. He seems like the type that would probably bump me if he needed to, and I was kind of nervous. I just wanted to get finished high. Top 10 was the goal every single time that I start in last place or at the end. Go a little bit too deep right there, I think, but we do get a decent run on the Beetle. We come up, we brake, and he starts sliding a little bit. Luckily, my tires, I want to say, kept up. We saw right behind him, and into lap 3 we go. And I noticed that he's lagging or something because he's blinking around everywhere, and it kind of makes me nervous. So I thought about overtaking him, but I go ahead and back off just because his flashing around kind of scares me, puts me on my guard, and I don't want to die. We see the Mexican up ahead. He got phased. Something happened. I'm not too sure. I should have saved the replay. He just phases into existence right in front of us, which scared the living crap out of me. He goes a little bit too deep. The Volkswagen Beetle goes in front of him and slows him down, so I'm able to pass Chema, and we slot in right behind the Ryan again. I bump into Ryan. Chema bumps into me. Unfortunate circumstances. Luckily, everybody keeps their position. I do not believe that Chema was having none of it, though. He rode the curve, I believe, and into the turn right before the death chicane. I slowed down. I'm going a little bit too deep. And if you look at the bottom right, we see that Chema just takes me out. And I believe that it was a deliberate attempt to take me out. It just seems so weird that he had so much room, and then all of a sudden he just turns to the left, which is super unfortunate for me. But I mean, he does have the fastest lap. I assume he owns this track. This is his world, his life, and I'm just in it. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, I could have just left the race, but I decided that I wanted to get some laps in. We skip ahead to the final lap. We have T-Kid up ahead of us with a 5-second penalty. All I want to do is stick in the 5-second penalty, in the 0.5 second, sorry, the 5-second range. Unfortunately, I'm unable to do that. And then for some reason or another, he takes a 1-second penalty. I'm not exactly too sure what happened there, but we go ahead and take that P12 in the Porsche RSR. Perfectly fine for me. Doesn't have a livery. Sorry, not a livery. Doesn't have a livery. I wanted to show right here. So I wanted to load into another race, and this would have been my 3rd race. We wait for the players to finish getting ready. Right. Perfectly fine. Everything's good. And I'm excited to do another race, to be honest. And one of the weirdest things happens. To me, it was confusing. I had to go and recover my account because basically Mr. Hackerman decided to take me out of the out of my PSN. Somehow my password was changed. I was logged out of PSN. I do have I had 2-factor authentication. I'm not exactly sure what happened there. I don't know if someone actually did log into my account or what, but it just logged me out for no reason whatsoever. Internet was fine. I had to log back in, and after I logged back in, changed my password. I changed my password, obviously. I logged back in, and everything was fine, working perfectly. But anyways, we start on this final lap, or final race, sorry. P16 in the Porsche from the card that you saw on the thumbnail. I really love this Porsche. I had this Porsche on my this livery on my Porsche in my main account, my main PSN, and I had to go and friend myself just so I can retweet, I guess, or share this, and that way I can download it onto this account. But right here we are P16 going into the curves. Right behind, everything looks kind of cool. Well, not kind of cool. Everything's going perfectly fine and everything dandy. For some reason, he just presses start. I assume his mom called him to come wash the dishes. Right behind, we see the Ford GT pushing around everybody. We have Blackbeard right in front of us. I go ahead and let him take the position. I didn't want to try to pass him. And into the death chicane, and we see 3 murders right there. It might have not looked like 3, but it was 3. And for some reason, those 3 murders reminded me that I needed to turn off my traction control. Not exactly sure why that reminded me. Just all of them dying reminded me that traction control was probably at 3. Just because this is a new car, I hadn't driven it previously up until... And I apologize for that jump. I don't know what happened there. But yeah, we jump ahead to the next lap, and he phases in front of me, and I hit him, and then I get hit from behind, and it's insane. I'm shaken up. That was the most craziest interaction that I've ever had in my life in this game. I'm like actually shooken up. You see, I'm taking these turns wrong. I'm not turning enough, or I'm not turning too late. For example, right here, I hit the curb, and then I go off into the dirt. Luckily, I'm able to come right back, and I don't lose that many positions because I don't spin out all the way. But yeah, those 3 deaths just reminded me that I need to turn off the traction control. This was the 2nd race I've driven in the car, so traction control was on. I forgot to turn it off in the 1st race. No passing yellow flag, meaning that someone probably died or bended in the death chicane. Spawn right in. We see the guy ahead of us. It's Blackbird. We go to the right just because I figured he was gonna spawn in right before I could have passed him. We go ahead and get right here. We brake, and into lap 3 we go. And later into lap 3, into the death chicane, we come back. We join back in. Through the death chicane, yellow flag. The guy that I crashed into earlier, he bends it. And Septian, sorry, right behind us. He was one of the ones that died in the death chicane incident of 1973. And he's back for revenge. He wants a higher position than P12. And to be fair, he was driving a lot faster than me. He was driving a lot cleaner than me. And I could tell. I was looking back behind me. And as you can see, he has a really good run on me. So in all honesty, I decided to give him the position. I didn't want to slow him down. And I figured that I could probably use him to slipstream to at least maybe if he took a position, I could take a position. He's also driving the AMG. AMG is the car that I really like. It looks nice to me. So I slid in right behind him. And we go ahead and decide to chase the Brazilian and the American right in front of us. P10 and P9, the Brazilian and the American, they clash together. Septian goes past the Supra. I'm right behind. Supra having none of it though. The Brazilians having none of it. And to be honest, Brazilians are never having anything of any more. Septian goes into. I feel a little too deep into the clay, but luckily he goes right next, and he goes right behind. And we go too wide on both sides, and I slow down. I brake really, really good, really, really hard, and the Supra crashes. I get scared. I bumped up Supra. I slow down. I let Septian take the position back just because I didn't want to cause an incident in the death chicane. Death chicane, I believe, took out or slowed down that Supra, and we go ahead and take him. The American and the Brazilian way ahead of us now. Absolutely no way we can take him. I do pass Septian though, and at this point I don't want to lose position. But he listens to Senna. He sees the 1 centimeter that I left in gap, and he takes the position back for P10, which I'm cool with, you know, whatever. And he does the most sportsman thing ever, and he brakes and he slows down right before the finish line. I thought that was the most insane thing ever. I couldn't believe that someone actually did that. Much respect to you, Septian. I really appreciate that. I didn't expect to get the win, or to get the P10, to be honest. Fair play to you for taking that, but I appreciate it. So that's the end of this video. Thank you guys for watching. I really, really hope to come properly back into GT Sport. I'm excited, and I can't wait to make more content for this channel. Anyways, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Peace.